lost my best friend to 23. She left her body and hovered above me. I saw no shadow, I looked around, searched every building and home that I found. I saw no shadow, but felt a glow. The warmth inside me, it kept me afloat. It felt like heaven had found my bones and gave me comfort when I feel alone. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone. If I fall, break my bones, I will scream even louder.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Owlet Season 3.9 playoffs. Today, we've got a great match between Storybook Villains and Blue's Clues Bandit. Jampy, how do you think this game's going to be?
Well, I'm not an expert on Blues Clues Bandits, but I've seen SBV's performance, and they're coming to this competition strong. They're 6-0, and it's going to be a tough competition to fight against. I know that much.
Absolutely. There's been a lot of different meta shifts recently, and a lot of teams have been trying a lot of different things. What do you think we're going to see from these teams heading into Oasis, which is going to be our first map pick?
It's gonna be tough to tell. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some dive or some more brawly comps. You kind of have there's a lot of short angles, long angles on Oasis, so it's really just going to be up to the teams and what they feel more strong on tonight.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of teams defaulting back to their comfort picks, and especially with Oasis being having three very distinct points. It's going to be interesting to see if we see Brawl on maybe University and then something more divey on Gardens.
Yeah, certainly. I wouldn't be surprised to see if they're playing hard meta, whether it's going to be like a Ryan Diva, Ryan Orisa comp, depending on the map, or if they are going to pull out the dive. It definitely is a possibility either way. So it is a little bit to the comfort picks, a little bit up to the map pick, and just how the players individually are feeling tonight. Everybody has an off night on a certain hero, and that may be the case as well.
We will see as we will go into Oasis in just a second. Storybook Villains most likely the favorites for this game. The second seed just behind Council of Anime Girls, only down by one map loss. But Blue's Clues Bandit have looked strong. So what do you think they have to do to really win this game over Storybook Villains? And what do you think are some of the weaknesses of Storybook Villains?
As far as what they're gonna have to do to win the game, it all comes down to Overwatch being a team game about working with your teammates and then just ability management, ultimate management. Whoever can manage to work with their team the best, pick out people who are out of position, and push together as a team are gonna come out on top tonight, I do believe.
Absolutely. We saw this a lot in every single other game. The team with the better coordination has come out on top almost every single time. As we go into our spawn rooms, we are going to see Ryan Zarya from either side. Leo and Omen going to be looking for the Pharah, though no Mercy from Orchestra or Sage to support them. On the other side, we do see a Genji coming out and a McCree. So it does look like we will see some slight brawl, but not pure brawl.
I do like SBV's composition a little bit better here. You do see a good combination with the Nano Blade, and the Ryan Diva will be able to support each other well. I don't like the Pharah without the pocket. It is kind of a classic trope.
There is the pocket. The Orchestra just going to speed. They are finally now connected with their Pharah. So Leo just going to be coming in. SBV just going up that stairway. However, Blue's Clues has already made their way up, but Cobalt is just going to try and force his way in, but he's just going to get knocked down by Goliath. However, Sage gets taken down by the shots from Brutal, so it's a 1-for-1 trade, and Brutal's already found two. The Mercy dispatched, so no res going to be able to come in. Kirby Bros making some space with his deflect, and now kills are coming in for the side of Storybook Villains. Wisp gets two, and it looks like it is going to be the first point going over to Storybook Villains.
What a strong push from SPV. Very strong hit scan from Brutal. I've played against it, and it is nasty indeed. They're going to have to get close with that pharmacy and take out the McCree first if they want to see any success in this. It's going to be a struggle playing to this strong McCree pick.
Yeah, definitely, and with them now holding the point, the Pharah is now going to have to walk directly into brutal sightline, so it's not going to be an easy task for Leo. Yeah, and they're just going to get taken out immediately. The Mercy getting taken out, and it looks like SBB. You can't push into that without your Pharmacy.
Yeah, I would expect to see a switch off the Pharmacy here unless they're really going to commit. And also their timing's a little bit off. They need to really be in an open space for that Pharmacy to get value, so I don't like that push through the building.
Yeah, it looks like they are trying to pressure the backline, but it's just not working. Echo Force and Wisp doing a very good job at just zoning off that Pharmacy with Brutals. And now, Shatter comes out from the side of Goliath, but doesn't find anything. The Nano is onto Kirby, but Leo is gonna barrage, which not gonna be able to find much. Omen does find Cobalt, but kills are coming in for SBB faster than they are for the side of Blue's Clues Bandit, and Storybook Villains are gonna just continue to hold.
That was a very strong ult combo. There was just, as soon as that 4 or 5 man Shatter coming out, that was all she wrote in that fight. As far as ults go, we're looking at a Bob here on the side of Blue's Clues, as well as a Window, and that might be strong coming into this next fight.
It's going to be interesting to see how these teams play around that window from Sage. We've seen teams just disengage, and it looks like that will be what Storybook Villains is doing now. The High Noon and the beat dropped, and Leo goes down immediately. Now grab out for the side of Daiko. She's going to be trying to catch some, and she'll find it, and it looks like this fight will be very quickly cleaned up. 95% and counting. We'll see if Blue's Clues Bandit can even touch here. They do, but Leo is going to be very quickly dispatched of, and a very dominant first round from the side of Storybook Villains.
Yeah, that was very clean. Like I said from the beginning, unless you're getting that big splash damage on Pharah, it really does not pay off. You need to get into those long fights where you can get the splash damage before your team can just blow them up when they're all low health. I would have liked to see a switch off of that a little bit sooner, but it is tough to get rid of your ult sometimes.
Yeah, it looked really difficult. Leo did try to barrage. There were ults coming out from both sides, but SBV looked just looked like they had the better execution on all their ults, their positioning, and just had the better game in that first map.
They sure did. As far as composition goes, we're seeing Symmetra and Mei on the side of Blue's Clues. This will be a nice brawly comp to just sit on point and not let them get in. They can get set up. Oh, yep.
There's the McCree. It is going to be Kirby is sticking on this Genji. It's not something we've seen a lot, but Kirby's found success in the Genji in all sorts of different situations. But so it is not completely out of the question. Leo now over to that Mei. We've seen the Mei a lot, and now the wall coming out, the value coming out. Cobalt has to countercharge into Goliath, and now the value of the Mei already being shown. Cobalt gets very quickly taken out, but Echo Force does find Sage, and Omen gets taken out by Kirby, and kills are now coming down to the side of SPV, and they're once again going to be taking the first cap, even with a player down.
Yeah, they managed to clean up. They lost their Reinhardt early, but the ability to stabilize there and just regain your HP was not shown by the side of Blue's Clues. Sometimes you have to take a breather, let your resources come back before just pressing that advantage with the pick.
Yeah, now Echo Force hiding here looking for an anti-nade. Such is on the Diva, but we'll see if they can find it. Echo Force looking for the nade, and he is gonna find it. It's massive, and that's just gonna be a quick kill onto Leo and a quick fight win for the side of SPV.
That is an absolutely disgusting nade. You gotta check your corners, especially when you're playing against anything cheeky like an Ana. Those nades can be debilitating, and we may see more cheeky nades coming in this next fight.
Yeah, and with that last fight being so decisive, Storybook Villains was able to build up a lot of ult charge that Blue's Clues Bandit just couldn't respond to. Already we see it again. Omen finding Brutal, however. Brutal trying to hide for a flanking High Noon, but he gets taken out quickly. Echo Force getting domed here by Sochi, but he gets very quickly slept. Now the Immortality Field out from Sage to save her team. Cobalt countercharges into Goliath, but Cobalt does go down. The Nano now out onto Kirby. He's already found Sue. He's fighting Goliath. He gets the mech. Such finally takes him down, but not before the damage is done. Goliath tries to shatter, but I think he got slept out of it. Anti did. He's gonna have to back off, and Storybook Villains is holding. Leo gets taken down by Brutal. And now it just looks like Soja's trying to get their mech back, but they get quickly dispatched of, and Storybook Villains winning a very chaotic fight off the back of Kirby's blade.
And that just shows you how strong a good blade can be. It looks like they had an advantage, but blade is just such a powerful ultimate coming in there. They just did not have time to react.
Yeah, now the High Noon coming out from Brutal just to buy some space. Now the Blizzard out from Leo to try and catch some people. But kills are coming in for SBV. Omen and Sage immediately taken down. They do trade out Cobalt, but it's a man advantage here for the side of Storybook Villains. And it's going to stay that way. The overtime ticker is now clicking down with the beat just to seal the deal. And Storybook Villains 100-0 on both rounds of Oasis.
Very impressive display. They got the early picks, and even when they didn't, they managed to pull through anyways. It's going to be a difficult match for Blues Clues tonight.
Absolutely. Kirby's Genji, not something, like I mentioned, not something you see too often, but he's found success with this Genji pick in so many different ways, and he's been so good on already showing it tonight, so it's going to be very interesting to see how Blues Clues tries to deal with this.
Yeah, that's sometimes what it comes down to when you're looking at a fight where you have a pick and you know they have ultimates. Sometimes if you can just call it that Genji has Blade and you can pick him off early, sometimes that's a good way to win it if their Genji is displaying that kind of dominance. But other than that, it's hard to react to a Blade other than having counter ultimates like a Trance or Beat, unless you can kill the Genji early.
Yeah, the Immortality Field just not enough. It gets taken down so quickly now with the health reduction in one of the recent patches. Now it is going to be Blues Clues Bandits pick going into map number 2. What do you think is going to be their best shot for this next map? Our next map type being Escort, Rialto, Route 66, and Gibraltar.
That's interesting. I don't know if playing something like Gibraltar is a good choice with the strength that Kirby has shown in Genji. So maybe a
Absolutely
more
not.
open map like Rialto, but then again you have Omen, or sorry, not Omen, you have Brutal on the hit scan, possibly a Widowmaker on that map. That's not fun to play into either. I think what it's going to come down to for Blues Clues is just wanting to win and working as a team and just pulling out the win.
Yeah, they're
Sometimes,
really
sometimes you just got to dig deep and find a way to really want it and really push for the win, and that's what I think they're going to have to do tonight.
they're really going to have to turn it up here. A lot of players are going to have to put on their best performances as SPV has looked absolutely dominant off the back of some beautiful plays from the entire team. Kirby and Echo Force in perfect synergy with those Nano Blades. We'll see how this goes. I mean, what do you think Blues Clues Bandit's main problem was? The coordination didn't seem like it was there, but other than that, what do you think was their problem? Was it a composition difference or was it something else? Was it just outplayed?
It kind of feels like it was a little bit outplayed when you get into those situations where the enemy team is getting so much value from abilities. Like they're getting picks without ultimates, they're getting big anti-nades, things like that. You really have to watch them. Like you have to expect those abilities to come out, and you have to use either your own movement, your positioning, or your own abilities to counter them, and not your ultimates. When you're trading your ultimates against the enemy team's ability, you're already playing from behind. So you just have to not need those. You have to play in such a way to not let them get forced out by the enemy team. And that's what I think we need to see from Blue's Clues is a little bit more awareness of what abilities are going to be strong, from what angles and where to expect them from. It's difficult, of course, but that's what's going to need to happen in these next games if they want a chance at success.
The pace of the game also being set by Storybook Villains. They're playing very fast, and Blues Clues just cannot react in time. It just looks like they've just been completely caught off guard, and it's gonna have to be a complete 180 turnaround for them to go in to win this map and take this series. We are going to be going to Rialto for our second map pick. You mentioned the Widow before, and we will see how well Blues Clues can deal with it here. It's definitely going to be interesting as we are going to be going into Rialto. And just a second.
Initiating match.
As we go into our match, Champy, do you think the Widow is going to be played, as it's not exactly a very meta pick at the moment? Do you think they're just going to be sticking with that Genji McCree, or do you think they will be going to this Widow? I mean, we will see in just a second, but
Ready for battle.
Brutal is going to be sticking on that McCree, so they are just going to be running what they did run last round in that brawly type of style with their Genji. On the other side, Blue's Clues Bandits do look like they're running a Hanzo, and we've seen this before. Goliath on the ball. Rialto has been a very ball-heavy map in the past, so it's not particularly surprising to see this come out.
Yeah, you can see lots of potential for boops on this map, especially early. Though usually you see it on the defender side if you want an early boop, but we can see if they want to get some split pressure and really pressure that backline McCree that's been picking them off so much early in those fights.
Absolutely, so we'll see if this works out for them. It looks like Omen will be sticking with that Hanzo, so it will be this McCree Hanzo with,
The switch off all.
Oh, yep. And Goliath is going to be going back to his Reinhardt, so we're going back to the mirror. The DPS change is going in now already. SPV getting their corners checked. Echo Force gets caught out. Blue's Clues Bandit learning their lesson from the first round, but Echo Force's impact, even though he didn't get an anti, he did distract a lot of the team, and that gave open for Brutal to put in some shots and for the rest of his team to find some kills. Omen gets taken down by Kirby on the retreat, and SBV just holding, at least for the moment.
So we did see this similar play. Anna did manage to catch the Reinhardt only with the nade, but unfortunately died for it. But they did manage to pull through just by getting that pick on Blue's Clues main tank.
Yeah, now the cart is going to be advancing to this corner, but Cobalt's Fire Strike is going to find Leo, but Omen gets Kirby with the headshot, so that's a trade on the DPS. Now, it looks like Blue's Clues Bandit want to march forward, but the high noon out from Brutal very quickly charged from him, but he gets taken down by Omen. A quick arrow to the head is all it takes, but now the Shatter out from Goliath catches 3, but Sage's Immortality Field is there, but he does go down. It's fair fight here, but it looks like Blue's Clues Bandit don't want to take this fight without their main tank, and they're just going to back off for the moment.
It's really rough playing without that main tank. You just have nothing to hide behind, especially on this open streets phase of Rialto. I guess the whole map is kind of streets phase, it feels like.
Yeah, there's a lot of really long sight lines that McFree, or Hanzo for that matter, can take advantage of. Kirby almost with that ever so important blade here now, but the Dragon Strike is out from Omen, and Goliath just goes walking forward, but the blade out from Kirby. He's gonna get stunned out, but he gets Leo, gets the Immortality Field, gets Orchestra, but finally taken care of by Kirby, but the damage is done. Omen goes down to Echo Force. Goliath tries a Shatter. He is gonna find Cobalt, and he gets taken down, but he's all alone. Brutal and Wisp are both on him, and he gets taken down. Maybe a bit of a misplay there for him to use the Shatter, but what's done is done, and now 1 minute and 30 seconds are on the clock for Blue's Clues Bandits.
I don't hate that Shatter too much. Sometimes it's such a quick charging ultimate, and it's so hard to get value out of it sometimes that it's not the worst play. Maybe a little bit too in the favor of SPV in that fight. We do see a couple of ults on the side of Blue's Clues. We got a High Noon and a bomb coming. We'll see if they can get any value from it here.
Yeah, but the anti-nade already onto the DPS, and Blue's Clues Bandit is definitely not going to help. And now aggressive beat coming out. The counter beat comes out from Orchestra, but now the grab out from Dykopath. Now the bomb from Such, and it does find Kirby, so trading kills all around. But now Omen finds Brutal, and it's a man advantage here for the side of Blue's Clues Bandit. They're going to be pushing this card forward ever so closer. It's going to be ever so much closer to that checkpoint, but now Cobalt is back, so the recontest is going to come in. Cobalt might have gone a little bit far, however. The bubble is there, however, to save him, but now Sage's his amplification matrix is down, as well as the High Noon zoning everyone out. Cobalt is forced to peek out with Goliath, and now the Shatter comes out and finds 3. Wisp, however, finds the boom onto Goliath, but the damage is already done from Blue's Clues Bandit, and they will get this first point.
That was a huge Shatter. It's absolutely sealing the deal. Fantastic job by Goliath there. As far as ults go, it looks like we're gonna have a Dragon versus a Nano and a Deadeye for the side of SBV, and a Blade as well. SBV is gonna have a lot of ults to contest this cart on the second phase of Rialto.
Yeah, and that Blade has won them so many fights. Every single time that Blade is used, it just doesn't look like Blue's Clues Bandit have an answer. It won't be the same. Orchestra goes down. Sage is taken out. Omen does find Brutal in the meantime, but Leo goes down. It's 3 there for Kirby. 2 kills are traded out, but with Such getting T-Mech, it doesn't look like Blue's Clues Bandit like their chances, and they're just gonna reset.
I like the clean reset. At least they know when the blade comes out what's going to happen. And that can be a strategy too. If you know you're going to die to the blade, you just hold ults and look for the next fight. And that's what Omen did here. He still actually has his dragon.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Blue's Clues Bandit just adapts to how this blade. They are going to be going this high ground route this time instead of trying to push the cart, so it's a bit more of a direct approach. Now the Dragon Strike does come out. It's going to force Cobalt to drop with a sliver of health, and he finally gets taken down by Leo. Omen taken down in the crossfire, however. Leo does find another one onto Brutal, but Kirby is in their backline. He is getting the bubble, and he is going to live, but Goliath is just marching forward, but without him there, his team is free to get grabbed, but Daiko is just pumping the damage into the grab, and it's just Goliath on cart. He's going to get swiftly taken down, and a really good counterplay coming out from the side of Storybook Villains.
That was a fantastic grab. I did see a little bit of an error on Goliath. I feel like he should have hopped in the grab with his team. Maybe his shield could have saved them, but minor play there. It would have been tough to back up. We have a shatter from Goliath and a window possibly versus Deadeye. And massive
That's
Deadeye.
not good. Massive Deadeye. Such does get Cobalt into the pool, but Brutal, very good play. That Deadeye on such an open bridge. There's nothing to hide behind except Goliath's shield, and once that's gone, everyone is free to just get absolutely shredded. Not the worst fight, however. It's an ult used for Storybook Villains, and it's a very quick fight win, so they are going to be able to recontest fairly quickly. Omen does take out Kirby, so that's no blade, so they're not going to be able to nano blade until Kirby gets back. That's absolutely massive, and it looks like Storybook Villains know that they're just going to be backing off for now. Brutal is on that stairway, but he's going to get very quickly bubbled. Now the window out, and now the high noon. The hammer comes out from Goliath, and Cobalt goes down. Now the bomb out from Such finds Wisp, and now that cart 0.2 meters away, but Kirby with his blade, can he win this for his team? It looks like he can. 4 kills coming out for the side of Storybook Villains. It's just Such on cart, and a lone diva can't really kill an entire team, and just 0.2 meters away from their second point. Blue's Clues Bandits will be stopped.
They sure will. And it's tough. It's tough. That Dragon Blade, unless you have a good counter for it, you're looking at 2-3 kills basically minimum. So it's tough to play against. The counter has to come out, otherwise you're just gonna lose a team fight every minute and a half, basically.
Yeah, there's this Blue's Clues Bandit have not been able to really do anything about Kirby's Genji here. He's just been free to do basically whatever he wants. Blading, he's been assassinating the backline. The pressure from Kirby's Genji has just been so immense.
It's rough. It's rough. When he seems to be able to take advantage of anybody who's isolated as well. If somebody's alone, he'll just sneak up from behind and just delete them. Is what is happening.
We are seeing something a bit different here for the side of Blue's Clues Bandit. Omen on the Reaper. Reaper did recently get buffed, so he can do a bit more damage at long range. Do you think this is something that they are trying to do to counterplay Kirby, or do you think it's just something that they're trying to adapt to the rest of the comp?
I don't think that's a very good pick for their Genji. If they want to play fast, blow up the Reinhardt, yeah, they're looking for the close hold here, and I think their goal is going to be to blow up their tanks. That's even though you did see that buff at range, Reaper still, I think, in this composition is to blow up their tanks.
Yeah, and that's seeing with how close they're holding. We'll see if Storybook Villains see this. But Echo Force takes out Orchestra. That's your mobility gone. And now Goliath has to be saved by the Immortality Field. Cobalt just goes charging in, and Goliath goes down. And this is disastrous for the side of Blue's Clues Bandits. Such is just going to very quickly get taken down by the side of Storybook Villains, and this cart will march forward.
Yeah, that's not the strongest hold up close. It's kind of a tough point. You really have to commit to that close hold a little bit earlier, I would say, and just use the natural cover. But they're going to have a little bit of ultimates on the side of SBV built out, so look to see those come out first in this next fight.
Yeah, we'll see how it comes out, but Echo Force taken down by Omen. That's not going to help. And now it looks like that's the go sign for the side of Blue's Clues Bandit. The speed was just coming in, and Goliath just runs in, holds the W key. 2 kills come in immediately, and that's just going to be a quick reset there for Storybook Villains.
I mean, they got rewarded there. They learned to check their corners in that first map, and it paid off in this fight here. Echo completely caught out by their Hanzo on the side of Blue's Clues. We do, however, see a Deadeye coming out on the side of SPV, or built on the side of SPV.
And there's the Deadeye, there's the speed. They're just going to be walking towards Storybook Villains, wanting to just try to get some sightline, and it does work as Goliath tries to charge Cobalt, and it looks like kills very quickly coming in for the side of Storybook Villains, and this cart is just going to march ever so closer to first point. I don't think they're going to be able to recontest unless, and if they do, it will not be a full 6v6 fight.
You got McCree behind. He's looking for a high noon, possibly. He might be able to take out Anna.
But the cart is too close, and now
Indeed.
Leo is caught completely behind enemy lines. I don't know, then there they go. And that will be a reset. And this isn't looking that good for Blue's Clues. They are going to be down a player, and that cart is just right next to second point. So doesn't have that much further to go.
Yeah, there's not only that, is you have another Nanoblade coming up. Although you have ults on the side of Blue's Clues, we see consistently that Nanoblade getting 2 or 3 picks early in the team fight, and it's hard to fight after you're down 2 or 3 members.
Yep, and there it is. The Nano coming out, the Blade comes out. Orchestra does not have beat for it. The Lamb comes out, but Orchestra swiftly taken down, and Sage is dispatched of, and that's a very quick fight win for the side of Storybook Villains. Brutal does get taken down by Omen, but it's not going to matter. Omen is going to be able to get out with their life, however, but yeah, they do manage to survive. The cart is so close. It is now just rounding the corner.
Blue's Clues, they have ultimates, but
they do have the tools to recontest, but it is going to be do or die. Goliath gets slept, though, so that's not a good sign. Leo is channeling that high noon. The shatter comes out from Cobalt, but Goliath is just awake just in time to block it. Kirby tries to dive Brutal, but he gets flashbanged. Now the high noon out from Brutal. Wisp goes down to the Dragon Strike, but Goliath goes down to the high noon. The beat out from Orchestra as well as the bomb from Such. However, no kills coming out. Cobalt now forcing his way onto the cart, and now the grab out from Dichopath, and just Cobalt swinging into that, doing so much damage. It's just the Hanzo and the Diva, and they're just gonna get quickly dispatched of. Goliath is back, but it's not gonna matter, and the cart is gonna march in, and now SPV commanding 2-0 lead.
That's really tough to play against. SPV really showed a dominant force in that last game.
Yeah, I mean, it just looks like the SPV just looked much better that round. They had the better coordination, they had the better team plays. Blue's Clues Bandit were adapting. A lot of those nades where Echo Force was trying to hide were quickly spotted out, but it just wasn't enough.
SPV did have a lot of tricks up their sleeve, as you saw with that sneaky high noon on the bridge. What a disgusting play from them. Also, one thing that I noticed in that last team fight was you saw Kirby on Genji just existing off on the flank for the whole fight. You have to force that Genji out, otherwise he's just going to get value with his shurikens, charge his blade, and then if he sees a dash in to secure a kill, he'll just take it. It's free. So you really do have to take a look at that Genji, and he has to be forced out like a Sombra. If you let either of them exist, they just continue to get value through the team fight.
Yeah, that Kirby's Genji just being such a nuisance here for the side of Blue's Clues Bandits, and if they don't counter it, or if they can't do something about the rest of his team, it doesn't look good for them here. And now we are going to be going into our third map type hybrid, Eichenwald, Blizzard World, and Hollywood. And which one do you think Blue's Clues Bandit will want to go to try and better their chances of winning?
I'm not sure. It's looking pretty rough for them no matter what they pick. They have to deal with the strong McCree on the long range and the Genji in any of those tight hallways. It's going to be tough. It kind of depends what they've scrimmed on, what they've practiced on, and maybe if they have any cheesy strategies of their own up their sleeve here. I'd like to see something a little bit funky. You know, when you're going up in that when you're going into those fair fights and you're losing, you sometimes have to be creative, is what it comes down to. So I would like to see maybe a little bit of something unique here. And it looks like
Yeah,
it's gonna
well,
be Blizzard World.
interesting. We haven't seen too much Blizzard World so far, but it is a very interesting map. The 3 points are very distinct. The third point being inside, while the second point has a lot of high ground and a lot of different ways to try and
Hmm.
engage a fight. So it'll be interesting if Blue's Clues Bandit is if this is a reset map, if this is their comfort pick, this is what they've scrimmed on and this is what they know. So it'll be interesting to see how they play this going into our third map where they are backed into a corner.
They do have to pull out the win on this one. The interesting thing about Blizzard World is, though there are a lot of long angles for snipers hit scan to really succeed, there's also a lot of short flanks that are relatively quick for DPS to transition between. Like on Tracer, you can use one blink to change your angle from one doorway to another, things like that. So I wouldn't be surprised. Some maybe, I don't know about Tracer, but I think Genji again is going to be really strong, and that may hurt Blue's Clues on this map. So I'm not 100% sure about this map pick, but again, maybe they have something cheesy, maybe they have something planned for this. So I'd like to see what they pull out in this possibly final match.
This is their final map to try and do something. SPV has looked absolutely dominant in these past few maps. Blue's Clues Bandit has barely been able to even do anything. So it is their do or die. If they do lose here, they will be knocked down into the losers bracket. So they will not be out, but I doubt they want to do that. The winner will go to the match against Meow Legion for the winners finals. So it's very interesting to see how Blue's Clues Bandit will play it in this final map, or if SBV will continue their dominance.
Indeed. And it's tough. It's tough to come back from that 2-0 loss. It kind of comes down to a little bit of coaching staff here, in that if your coach can build you up and bring you back into the fight, it's a huge, huge advantage to have when you're down like this. Because it is tough to come back. It is rough on the mental when you're down 2-0 and facing a really strong team. So I would have actually liked to see them take a little bit of a break here, but perhaps they're feeling confident. They know what they want to do, and they're going to perform in this Blizzard World.
How this turns out. Now, Storybook Villain's going to be on the defense. We're going to see a... no, we are not going to be seeing a Sigma. Dykopath's just going over to the Zarya, and it looks like we're just going to be seeing the bog standard here from both teams. Goliath, however, on that wrecking wall. We'll see if he... Nope.
Nope. They love debating us.
So it is just going to be the standard from both teams. So it's going to be exactly what we've seen in the past two maps, and it's going to have to be a playstyle difference, or just a pure playstyle mechanics difference here from Blue's Clues Bandit if they want to pull this out, because it's definitely not going to be the composition that helps them.
I like... Oh, as I say it, I was going to say the Ana flank again, but it looks like the Echo is moving back a little bit to play another.
It looks like
safer
Echo
position.
has learned his lesson. Yeah, and you already see Blue's Clues Bandits checking their corners. Goliath finds Brutal with a long-range fire strike.
Massive pick.
Probably was not expecting that, but he will definitely take it. And now, that's their go sign. Blue's Bandit marching in with that speed boost, and now the rotation comes in. However, Kirby Bros deflecting Goliath's fire strike into Leo. One tick already gained, however, for Blue's Clues Bandit. And now Brutal is going to be on his way back very shortly, and now going to be shooting into Blue's Clues Bandit's backline. Kirby jumps in there with the dash, but no kills coming out. But as I say that, Sage goes down to Brutal's shots. He's just picking them off from the back, and now Goliath goes down, and the entire fight is just falling apart here for Blue's Clues Bandit. However, they did gain 2 picks out of that 86% gain, so it's not an empty loss.
And they managed to trade out a lot of damage, so they're not going to be as far behind on ultimates as you would expect losing a fight like that. One of the things that I would have liked to see from Such there on the Zarya is the rotation to deal with that McCree. On off tank, you have to watch those flanks, and you have to be aware that that member is coming back into that team fight. Otherwise, you can see the McCree just gets a massive value by being uncontested on the flank.
Yeah, that was such a good play from Brutal, just to continuously poke in the backlines of Blue's Clues Bandit and just not let them do what they wanted to. Now it's going to be a full rotation coming out from the side of Blue's Clues Bandit, but there's the blade. The Immortality Field comes out. Kirby just trying to destroy it, finally gets it, but Goliath goes down while trying to shatter, and now kills very quickly coming in. And that's a quick fight win for the side of Storybook Villains once again.
And that is unfortunate where you see the lack of beat coming in. We're 2 fights in, the blades come out, and we still haven't seen a beat on the side of Blue's Clues. It's going to be rough if they can't charge that beat fast enough to deal with the blade. And that's kind of the only counter that they have, because as we've discussed, the lamp just goes down immediately.
Yeah, but Omen finding Kirby definitely gonna help. And now Blue's Clues Bandit just going all the way in, but now the grab in from Path, a great play with the grab. Cobalt finding 4 with his hammer swings. Finds the 5th. Will he be able to get 6? Orchestra is running for their lives. He's not going to be able to find it. Very good counterplay there from Storybook Villains once again.
So what we're seeing here in this last fight is that Blue's Clues, they do have a lot of ultimates. They've been building them up, and that may have been on purpose here, looking for one big push to secure the point and open up the streets phase of Blizzard World. They have a Grab Dragon. Let's see if they can manage to get it off.
Yeah, they only need one more tick here to try and get this. Echo Force already getting pressured out by Omen, but Omen does get slept on that high ground, and Goliath is antied, and Brutal takes him out. So Omen, a bit of a misplay there from him to go aggressive onto Echo Force, and now the rest of Blue's Clues Bandit is just getting forced back. Massive anti-nade coming out from Echo Force. Beautifully done. Cobalt hits his shatter, and that's going to be a quick fight, and now just 35 seconds on the clock for Blue's Clues Bandits.
Now, normally I'd say it's good that they got ultimates out from SBV, but we're looking at another Nano Blade coming back. They really just used Shatter, and then they just farmed Blue's Clues health there to get those ultimates that they really want to use in this last fight. We're still seeing a Graph Dragon from Blue's Clues, and they really need to hit it early before anybody goes down.
Yes, they have to be decisive. They have to be quick. 10 seconds left. The touch is going to come in, and Wisp does go down to Leo, so that's very helpful. The Dragon Strike comes in, but it's just in vain as everyone in the grab was already dead. Now the blade comes out from Kirby, does find Leo. Will he be able to find anyone else? It doesn't look like he's going to be able to be the hero this time. It's just him and Echo Force. Echo Force finding a nade onto Goliath and Omen, but Orchestra takes him out in the meantime. Now High Dune out for Brutal, but he gets swiftly taken down by Orchestra, and now the payload is going to be moving. A bit of a misplay there from the McCree to use that High Noon.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you gotta on McCree. It is really such a hard ultimate to get off that sometimes in those late fights, it's why not. Same as Reaper, but 1v4 was a little bit much. We're still seeing 2 ults on the side of Blue's Clues. They actually have the opportunity to hit a big Shatter and High Noon with nothing on the side of SBV. As we've seen,
SPV fully in position yet, and Blue's Clues Bandit just going to be speeding forward. Kirby dashes through as Goliath gets antied, and both tanks go down to Cobalt swings. The aggression there punished there from Storybook Villains, and now Blue's Clues is just fully in retreat.
yeah, it's the big nade coming in. If you can get the purple on the enemy main tank, if you get the purple on Reinhardt, unless they have a cleanse for it, a Zarya bubble, there's not a lot you can do on Reinhardt in that situation, because Cobalt is just going to swing on you.
Yeah, the coordination from Blue's Clues Bandit to capitalize on these nades have been very good. Echo Force once again hiding in a very far back location, and it's once again not as big, only a 2-man nade, but the grab comes out from Path just to secure some kills. But Leo finds a 2-man High Noon. It is still winnable, and Echo Force is in the backline of SpongeBob Mac and Cheese, Blue's Clues Bandit, and gets taken down by Omen. That was maybe a misplay there for Storybook Villains for them to go with that aggressive set nade, as Omen just kind of got stuck in the back line.
So again, we're going to see another Nano Blade coming out on the side of SBV, and as we can see, it is usually a fight changer. Here it comes.
Here it comes. Kirby dashing into the back line, finds the Leo, and Orchestra gets pinned, and that's a quick fight with Kirby finding so much value with that blade.
And that's kind of the funny thing, is when you win fights that quickly, it's almost a bad thing, because they're going to have another fight here. Blue's Clues is going to have another fight, another chance to push the cart in and manage to start the 3rd stage if they can be successful.
Yeah, but they're not gonna have Ult and Omen and Goliath both have to switch just to touch the cart. There's 10 seconds left. The only ults they're gonna have is Sage's window and maybe Orchestra's beat, but Leo going down to Kirby is not looking, it's not good. And now Sage and Orchestra both go down. The beat comes out from Wisp, finds all 6 members. High Noon out from Brutal just to clean it up. It's not looking good. It's all falling apart here for Blues Clues Bandits, and they will be held just short of second point.
Indeed, they will. I think they actually may have had time to stay on the Reinhardt. It looked like their ball had about 10 seconds when they touched the cart, so I'm not sure if that was a little bit of misplay as well, as ball maybe not the best into the brawl comp that SBV is playing tonight.
Maybe not. There is still a chance of full hold, still very possible here. So Blues Clues Bandit not out of it yet, but Storybook Villains have just looked so dominant so far.
Yeah, and with Blizzard World, it's one of those maps where you're going to expect if you cap first, you're going to expect to just roll through second most of the time. Not a lot of second point holds. It does happen, but really, I think it's going to be coming down to holding this first point at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I don't take a look at the stats too often, but I would like to just point out that Storybook Villains is just crushing Blues Clues in just every category. Kirby alone has more than 4,000 more damage than the top damage dealer of Blues Clues Bandit, and Omen is already about 3,000 points ahead of anyone else on his team, so Kirby just doing so much work on that Genji.
Yeah, it's wild. Damage numbers from Genji this early into the game. The interesting thing I see is the Reinhardt damage. Goliath is taking almost twice as much damage as he's dealing compared to SBV, where their Reinhardt is putting up damage but also taking it.
Yeah, it's a bit of an... Cobalt finding a bit more value. Good nade onto Such and Omen. Such now on that Sigma instead of the Zarya. It looks like Storybook Villains will just be pushing into this. Now the rock does come out onto Brutal, but Leo does go down to a headshot from Kirby. Goliath does get anti, but he charges in, but he gets very quickly punished. Omen finds Wisp, however, so it's definitely a winnable fight, and with Brutal going down, that's definitely going to help, but the problem is Blues Clues Bandit are on full-on retreat. They can't capitalize on these picks. One tick already getting built up, however, a bit of a stabilization coming out for the side of Blues Clues Bandit. It looks like they might want to recontest, but percentage is ticking up. Now, however, Such drops to contest, but he's gonna be very quickly taken out. Goliath tries charging in to contest, but that's just not enough. And now the point, very quick first point cap here for Storybook Villains.
And that's a difficult fight once you've lost those picks. I would have liked to seen Such get a little bit more between his team and the enemy. He was on that high ground, just not providing cover for his teammate, unfortunately. We do have some ultimates building up on the side of SBV, including a Shatter and a Nano, compared to Nano and a Dragon for Blues Clues. We'll have to see who managed to get value in this next fight.
I would like to point out Sage did get staggered out a bit there, so she is still not with the team. So Blues Clues Bandit just can't go into this without their Ana. The break heals aren't enough, especially with Goliath now on that Winston. That huge anti coming out from Echo Force, who is at basically 1 health to slow the advance of Blues Clues Bandit even more, and because of that stagger and because of those plays, the card is already more than halfway through that second point. No fight is able to get from Blues Clues Bandit, and now the blade out from Kirby is once again gonna spell a quick fight. Finally gets slumped by Sage, and Echo Force goes down. Kirby gets taken down, so that is good news for Blues Clues Bandit, but that card is so close, and Goliath is gonna have to basically suicide onto it just to touch. The Dragon now coming out from Omen just to try and find something, but it doesn't hit anything, and the kills are coming in for Storybook Villains, and it's gonna be marching in, and Storybook Villains clean, decisive 3-0 over Blues Clues Bandits.
That's difficult. It's tough when you're in that last fight and your main healer gets staggered like that. Do you take the early fight and take the L just for some time on cart? Or do you wait and only get 1 fight? They chose 1 fight, but SBV had the blade just to clean up the whole team.
Yeah, and that's a very disappointing look there from Blues Clues Bandits. They definitely wanted to do something a bit more than that. but it's just was not enough from them to take the win over Storybook Villains.
That is indeed true. They did not manage to squeak a win. However, I did like to see the switches onto Sigma and Monkey. If you're gonna try something new and you're gonna do something like that, it's best to just fail gloriously. Pull out last stops, try whatever you can, and just try to make it work. At least you can learn something.
Absolutely. Well, they didn't stick on it for too long, but we will be going into our player of the match. Jampy, who do you think is our player of the match for this game?
I mean, we all know it. It's got to be. I think it's got to be Kirby. We did see a lot of strong nades from Anna, but the Genji was frankly disgusting. He was on the flank. He existed on the flank. Got picks without Blade, and then just cleaned up team fights with Blade. So I think that's what it's got to be.
Yeah, and it has to be Kirby here. It's doing so much on that Genji. We've talked about this before. Kirby's Genji has been incredible this season. And I would like to highlight the rest of the team. Cobalt doing a really good job on that Reinhardt, and Dykopad, she was doing a really good job at getting those grabs and securing a lot of these fights and doing a really good job at punishing the aggression from Blue's Clues Bandits. And Echo Force, once again with the nades, finding so much value very easily. And now we do have Kirby in, who is currently deafened. Hello, Kirby.
Is Kirby undeafened yet?
He is undeafened. I don't know if he's there, however.
Interesting. Well, I'm gonna keep on talking until Kirby's back.
Hello, Dad.
Oh,
Oh, there he is.
There he is. How are you?
Oh,
I'm good. How are you?
That's fantastic. Yeah, we just have a couple questions for you. How did you feel tonight coming into the game?
I felt exquisite.
Yeah, exquisite. Anything else? Care to elaborate?
I felt pretty good, as the people would say. Feeling pretty confident that we would bring out the W.
Fantastic.
fantastic.
And as a team, I know I've heard the answer before that you guys don't do too much preparation as a team, but how do you practice your Genji? What do you do?
I say space dust, and then my Ana RTC, he gives me nano, and then we create even space dust, and yeah, I just hop into the Genji training, and then I just go at it for like maybe 30 or 40 minutes every day. So that's quite nice.
The
So like
grind for
a
the
workshop.
Genji.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, the grind for the Genji really paying off there.
I like playing Genji.
Mm-hmm. And Razor, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I would like to add one thing. You are going to be facing Meowegian in the later match of the playoffs and the winners finals. How do you think you're going to be against them in this? Do you think they're going to be a challenger? Do you think you're going to be able to just sweep right through them?
I think it's going to be a spicy match. I don't have any like predictions. I just like playing the game. So, yeah.
I mean, that's a good way to get better. If you enjoy the game, you're going to be willing to put the time in, right?
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to add?
Other than that, I think if we pull up looking pretty spicy, we can pull out the W, as they
Mhm.
say.
Yeah, I believe you guys definitely have a strong chance. There was a lot of cohesion that I saw between your team, especially when you look at that. The follow up on the anti nades was, I think, what impressed me most. Is it just a call on your team as soon as the nade is hit that your Lucio speeding in, or kind of what's the plan there? I noticed there was a lot of set nades.
Oh, I just
Um,
know the nade's gonna come out, and I'm just ready for it.
Gotcha,
When
gotcha.
I
And
see 6 purple tags, I just dash through it.
Yeah.
exactly, dash, 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 and then the fight's over. Hey.
It's quite
Mhm.
nice.
Well, once again, Kirby, congratulations. And we're very excited to see you in the winners finals against Meowegian.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I can't wait to be there too. It's gonna be very fun.
And with that, that was our match for today. Storybook Villains taking a commanding 3-0 over Blue's Clues Bandit. They will be advancing to the winners finals to fight Meowegian, whilst Blue's Clues Bandit will move down to the losers bracket and will place SpongeBob Mac and Cheese to move on in this tournament. Anything else you would like to say, Jampy, before we go?
Congratulations to both teams. It takes a lot of effort to play at this level at all, so I just like to see you guys coming out and putting your hearts out in these games. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you. My name is Razorblade04. My partners is Jampy. Thank you for tuning in to Owlet Season 3.9.
Thank you very much.
I lost my best friend to 23. She left her body and hovered above me. I saw no shadow. I looked around, searched every building and home that I found. I saw no shadow, but felt a glow. The warmth inside me, it kept me afloat.